My name is Stefan Brüggemann. I'm a visual artist and I live between Mexico, London and Ibiza. I was very interested in graphic design and how that is very present in advertisement and communication, like to sell stuff, no? And to be part of consumerism. So I think that messaging and also the messaging of protest in streets of political activities, I found that connection of how the resonance of a text could have. And I think language is very present in our society and in our way of communicating, as we always are influenced by publicity, by how you communicate through your phone, through text messaging, or even newspapers. And I kind of like to work in the boundaries between the image and the text. How can an image become text and how a text can become image? Disruption for me, it's always an element of creativity. How can you disrupt the system? No? How can you see things in a different way? No? I was also very influenced by punk music, and I remember meeting Malcolm McLaren, and then he became one of my mentors, and telling me that this idea was that it was not about the actual talent of playing an instrument, but doing it wrong had its own way of being right. No? So I kind of like this idea of disruption in that sense, that it's not about a technique, but it's about an idea. And how can you break a system? And I think that's essential for art, no? And for my own investigation. No? How can I explore different mediums, different contexts, different solutions, and not just be trapped in a technique that you polish and polish and polish, and then you become somebody that only knows how to do one thing. The NFTs that are coming to the attention these recent years, they try to encapsulate it as a movement. And it's not a movement, it's just a new medium. It's like everybody that starts painting in watercolor is not a movement. Out of that, you have to research, and there will be things that are interesting and things that are not interesting, the same as happens with when you see sculpture. No? You see interesting sculpture, not interesting sculpture. So I think it doesn't have any... I think some artists will come up with great projects that will be relevant. The idea of the blockchain as a concept is very close to conceptual art. No, it's like just trying to create a system where you can certify or validate an archive, a file, or something that is immaterial, like a digital image. At the end of the day, I feel like I'm a sponge. No, I'm trying to absorb always my context. And I think that's why this work is very relevant, because I'm absorbing a problematic of today. No, I'm not, I don't get driven to nostalgia, like, oh, I'm going to paint like they were painting in the 19th century. Or I think my work or my practice, I always try to be very relevant to my time, so that in 100 years, it could be very like, it could be a blueprint of what was happening that moment in that context.